Welcome to a Matchmaker's Guide on Love and Life. This is your host, Dating with Katy, also the world's best matchmaker out there. Thanks so much for joining me. You can find me at datingwithkaty.com or also at CINQE matchmaking.com. First, I just want to say thanks for following. I know I have a lot of people who are just encouraging. I just got back from a trip to Tahiti, went to Bora Bora, so dreamy. And as I'm sitting in the spa, a woman next to me from LA, she says, "Are you dating with Katy?" And I follow you. So you know what? Thanks, you guys. I love it. And my question is always to you guys, what could I be sharing on? What could I be teaching on? How can we make dating so much better? So make sure you subscribe. I do a weekly podcast. I've been doing a lot of great interviews and there's a lot of great ones coming up. And today's topic is going to be really fun because I recently had a girlfriend. She's married and she said her husband is going to wife school. And I thought, brilliant. Every man should go to wife school, right? Like, we are unique creatures. And it's not that we're like needy or demanding. It's just, we're different than you guys. And so really it's a skill set to understand women, to learn them. I mean, if you guys are dogs and we're cats, then you kind of got to go figure us out a little bit, right? So I love that her husband was doing that. And I thought, you know, in this space of relationship and matchmaking, why don't I do a podcast on like the girlfriend school, like the girlfriend guide, like how to find a girlfriend, get a girlfriend, and keep a girlfriend. Now, I understand you ladies are like, well, how do I find a boyfriend? I'm going to have a really good friend of mine. He is a single guy. I'm going to have him on my next podcast. You're going to want to join me for that. He's going to share the whole boyfriend version of this. But if you're a guy, please stick around, even if you're married, because all of this, now remember the wooing phase of dating, that's the best. Like I'm 2 years into marriage and sometimes I'm like, man, I miss being courted and dated and all those things, all these things that I'm going to share with you should still be happening in your marriage. So stick around, get encouraged, take a golden nugget with you and let's get started. Well, I Googled, how to get a girlfriend. And of course the answers, I just don't even want to look at them anymore. But it said that usually the first girlfriend a guy gets is between 13 and 15. And I thought, Lordy B, that is way too young. I got old men who can't even figure out this girlfriend stuff. So just with that being said, here's my theory and philosophy on life. Don't let your kids date. Let them mature first. Let them have friends, hang out in big groups, youth groups, whatever, but nobody should be dating at 13. Okay. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But I wanted to move forward in this because we are going to decide first, how do you find a girlfriend? How do you get one? And how do you keep that girl? All right, so I just got off a call this morning with a guy who was a client 10 years ago, 15 years ago. He is now currently single. He has a daughter. And, he wants to find a woman to marry. He's open to more kids. He is, has a 10-year-old, but he's willing to do another family. So he wants to date a little younger or he's willing to blend. He's very open. But this is what I found is that when you get into the details and the specifics of, okay, well, what have you been dating and how is that going? The idea of what he's looking for was not what he has been dating. So this idea of finding a girlfriend. Now, he was stating that he really likes the Latinas. He likes short, petite, curvy. I mean, his specifics were very detailed, which makes a job like mine even more difficult. But I had to ask him the question, like, if you've been meeting and dating these women, how come they weren't good enough to become a true girlfriend? As a matter of fact, he said one just wanted an arrangement. And if you don't know what that is, there are men and women out there these days who are sadly doing an arrangement. It's mutually beneficial. I wouldn't say that it's spiritually beneficial or deeply beneficial, but it's sadly just a way to have, needs met without having to go deep. And so a lot of these women of the kind that he was looking for were looking for that. They were requesting that. And that's just not what he really, truly wants. He wants a girlfriend who will eventually become a wife. I mean, he's looking for wife material here. So let's work backwards, right? If you're looking for wife material, which almost all my clients are, they're looking for long-term girlfriend material. We've got to design that backwards, guys. And ladies, we're going to be doing that next week. And ladies, stick around because I want to see if you think and you agree with this. And write it in the comments like, Katy, I agree. Katy, these are the things I'm looking for. If you want me as a girlfriend, this is what you have to do. I know you girls have opinions, and that's why I'm sharing this today. All right, so first off, to find a quality girl, and it's So many options these days, so many websites, so many opportunities. You've got online, you've got in real life. Let me just remind you, this goes both ways, men and women. You've got to look for someone in your picture frame. I understand that it's really exotic and dreamy to date the guy from afar who is 20 years younger, or to date the girl who is Latina and she's sassy and she wants to have your babies. But here's the deal. Like, if that's not how you grew up, if that's not how they grew up, if your lives are in different spots, like maybe this guy, ladies, you're dating a guy who has 3 little kids and your kids are already out, or it goes the opposite way, that is not the same picture frame. Now, I'll give you just my life example. My husband is 9 years younger. No, he is 9 years older than me, but our kids are the same age. So we were in the same life stage. And I know sometimes you might find someone who's great, but the reality of that is very hard. And I'm going to tell you this, it gets harder in a marriage and a long-term relationship. Those differences show up. And so you've got to really minimize the differences. And that's why I say you date within your picture frame. Now, I say this picture frame idea because back in the day, Grandma Betty and Grandma Nancy or Aunt Nancy down the street used to be chatting in their afternoon tea. My mom used to have afternoon tea with Louise down the street. Literally, we'd sit on her front porch and my mom would have tea with this lady. And that's what women did back then. And they were like their own style of yentas, right? They were matchmaking. They were talking about their family. And then they thought, I'm going to introduce my family to your family. And just in Bora Bora last week, the couple next to us in the room next to us, in the hut next to us, they're from Peoria, right? They're from Peoria, which is a tiny town, and it's because their 2 fathers were chatting and decided to put those 2 on a date. That is old school, and that is the picture frame. And they fit well because their lives are very parallel. So keep that in mind, gentlemen, especially. I know you want the exotic woman sometimes, and ladies, you want Mr. Fancy Pants Charming. It doesn't always work out in the end. So to find one, let's get number 1, our priorities straight. What are you really, really looking for? And this really shows up in your preferences versus your standards. Talk about this a lot, and I really have to work through it with my clients. Again, we heard what that guy was looking for. He prefers thin, petite, but curvy Latina. Okay, well, that doesn't mean she's going to be a great wife. That is your preference, and I understand preferences. Here's my theory on preferences. At the end of the day, you should want to be able to make out with them, right? You want to look at them and be like, yeah, I can make out with them. Okay, aside from preferences and looks and hair color, and if he has hair or not, and if he's 6 feet or not. He might be 5'7", but you're like, yeah, I'd make out with him. That's a win. That's a keeper. Stick around and date that person. All right, guys? And for standards, we know it's the character qualities that are going to last in the marriage. One of the reasons I married my husband is because he's kind. He's kinder than me, to be honest. Like, I'm a little New Yorker, hard girl, and I love how kind he is. He's patient. He's definitely more patient than me. So those are the character qualities that I was looking for in a guy. Here's number 2. You've got to know the goal and will this woman meet it? So guys, I've talked about it already. If you're looking for a wifey material, you got to start thinking wifey material. Is she going to be that woman? Is she great with kids? Does she even involve herself with kids? Is she so busy in her career? Is she got a kid of her own and she is not looking to take on more? You've got to get serious about that part. And then number 3, this is some advice I gave to a very good friend of mine who lives here in Dallas. He's good looking. He's 6'2", good head of hair, 40, country club member, has it all, the dog. And he says, for years he's dating the hot girl, all around town, all these hot girls. And I looked at him one day. We always have lunch at True Food Kitchen. I said, you know what? You need to date the cute girl. The cute girl is going to be amazing for your season in life. Like, done with the hot girls, in with the cute girl. And ladies, I know most of us are cute girls. I'm cute. And on a good day, my hair looks good. I can push the hot scale. But at the end of the day, I'm just cute. And I think that's where the win is for you gentlemen. Stop looking for the hot girl. By the way, that hot girl has so many guys after her, and she has so many crazy expectations. I know because I work with them. I work with these hot girls, and they're amazing. They're great women, but man, you better show up, guys. And a lot of you are willing to show up, but at the same time, it's going to be a new demand. If you want the hot girl, you better be prepared financially, physically. You better be prepared in so many different ways. If you really want to do life with someone amazing, pick the cute girl. All right, so that's how you find one first. Number two, how do you get that girl, right? They're out there, and I have clients that are dating them, but guess what? These girls have options now, and they're happy on their own. They're making their own money. As women now, we don't need a man. And I'm not saying that in a I don't need no man kind of attitude. What I'm saying, it's real. I don't need my husband. I already own my own house. It's paid in full. I don't need to live in this house. Like, I want to be with my husband. And in the same way, these girls want to be with you. So they don't need you in the way maybe our parents or their parents needed a husband. So you're really going to have to bring your best self to this. And number one, and by far, this is what I always say, you need to put in the effort of showing her that she is it, that she is special. And how do you do that? Number one, you were ready to seriously date. So one of my children, he recently said, Mom, I'd really like to date this girl. Now, you have to understand, dating is a serious business in my house with my kids. And I have really primed my boys for understanding women, when they were stuck in a car with me, they got Mama Katy, and Mama Katy had lots of dating with Katy advice for them. But I have to say that this son of mine, he's like, Mom, I so appreciate, even in my birthday card, I so appreciate what you've taught me about women and dating and relationships. And, with that being said, I said, look, you can date this girl, but you need $100,000 in your bank account. And now I was being facetious, but not being facetious, because I'm old school, and it's going to be his job to manage that relationship financially. And right now and ultimately, like, she can work, but if she never works, can you handle running a home with kids? And that's on you. That's the financial onus is on you, buddy. And so he got his numbers in order. He was, selling me on his net worth and how he's prepared. And, he added his car to the net worth. And I'm like, well, that's a depreciating value. So no, you can't count that in. So all this to say, he's revved up, and he decided to date this girl. He called the dad. She's long distance. And so recently he asked if they could be boyfriend, girlfriend, which I adore because his intention is committed and it's clear. Women love that kind of stuff. And his effort is amazing. And then he sent her flowers. And let me tell you, this is a whole different country she lives in. Okay. They've known each other for years. My son went to school in another country. So that's why. But what I love about it is that not only that, he called me this morning. He's like, Mom, I'm thinking of getting on a plane to go see her tomorrow. And I'm planning to see her for Thanksgiving too. That is effort. And I'm sorry, but if my, young son can be doing that, you men can be doing that as well in your own right. The effort is everything to a woman. Effort is everything. And let me tell you guys, quick second here. If she's not mirroring that effort back to you, she's not that into you, she's not making time for you, and she's not making space for you, move on. Pass on her. You gotta let some of those girls go. I know they're pretty and they're hot, or for whatever reason you're hoping for it. She's not that into you, and that's the truth. But when you put it into the right woman, she will receive that and it will be reciprocated. So you've got to be putting in that effort. You've got to be established financially. You've got to be established in your confidence. You've got to know what you bring to the table, which often is shown not just in your cockiness and what you own. Like, girls are getting past that now. We want to know about your EQ. What was the last book you read? Do you know who the Gottmans are? Like, do you know your attachment style? Like, this is so important. I have a great client who is very much into his EQ, has done a lot of therapy, and he looks for that in women too. Now, not everyone's gone through trauma and not everyone's had to go through deep therapy, so we have to be mindful of that. But having some sort of base understanding of emotions, how to deal with them well. Again, the Gottmans are a great resource. Les and Leslie Parrott is another one that my husband and I go to. I've got a stack of books, always reading, but I also have to be applying. So that's the big deal. All right. So you're putting in the effort. Amen. Every woman will say thank you. And ladies, if he is, please say thank you to that. Like, say, babe, I notice your effort. I notice you put in more effort than most guys. Like, you can compare them because it's true, isn't it, ladies? Here's the other thing I've taught my boys is that you can listen to a woman all day. She can be talking, but you didn't really hear her heart. And one of the things I want to remind you is sometimes the thing is not the thing. And this is going to be true in any relationship. It could be in a work relationship. It could be with your kids, is that sometimes somebody will share something with you, but that's really not the thing. The thing is not always the thing. So you've got to start, this is the EQ part, to really hear her heart. when she says something. Oftentimes, I'll give you an example. When I'm angry at my husband about something, it's actually because I'm sad. And I'm probably sad because I haven't had a lot of quality time with him. Like I feel just a little sad because I haven't seen him much. So I kind of act out in a little angry, naggy, cranky Katy. And really, if we get to the bottom of it, if I was just honest with him, I'm like, you know what? I just kind of miss you. So learning that is super important and just really hearing her heart. Start by taking notes. Take notes when she talks. Take notes when she says she likes things. Like every woman loves this idea that a man is really hearing her, that not only are you bringing her flowers, okay, you're bringing her the flowers that she likes. Like if you can't tell what kind of flowers I like, right here, do you see any red roses? No, I don't even like red roses. I don't like baby's breath. Like these are all fake for sure, but my whole room here is full of like pink, beautiful roses, peonies. I've got books, stacks of books about flowers. Like if my husband doesn't know what kind of flowers I like, he can come in here and tell the florist. These are the things that we really feel desired, wanted, and cared about. And that effort is gonna get you in the door, guys. And that's what she is looking for, because men got lazy and they're not doing this stuff. So don't be that guy. All right, the third thing for this one to get her, you need to go beyond just her. Get to know her life, her lifestyle, her friends, huge. Like I think it's so adorable when a guy says, hey, can I call some of your friends? And I, ask them about you and get some ideas. Like every guy should have what I call a lifeline. Like it's her best friend and you know her, you've gotten to know the best friend. It could be her sister. And so when a holiday, birthday, special event comes up, guys, this is huge. You ask the sister, the best friend, the lifeline, like what could I do that would really rock her world? Now, if you are a creative guy in your own right and you are already good at that, congrats, please write a book, because men could use a little help in this. Let's be honest, but really get vested in her bigger world. And it was cute. I was at the dentist this morning and the dental hygienist lady, she said her sister's daughter met a guy and he came to the house to meet everybody. And while he was there, he said to the mom, hey, is there anything I can help you with? Is there anything in the house that you actually need done while I'm here? Okay, that's like a winner chicken dinner. Of course, the mom's going to say no, right? I mean, unless there was something, I have something hanging way high and I could just use a tall person to get it down. Like if a guy said that to me, I'd be like, yeah, can you reach that and fix it for me? Whatever. But it's just the idea that you're offering to help. My boys always would carry my groceries in. If I had a certain honk, they knew come out and get the groceries. The door, that's like, of course, every guy should be getting the door. He should be helping with dishes. He should be clearing the table. Now, I've been around kids who don't clear tables, and it blows my mind. Like I have sat at dinner tables with people and their children did not get up to clear the table. And I'm thinking, are you expecting me to clear the table? Like, are you expecting the host to clear the table? Because you are young and you need to get your butt up. My point in this is that maybe you weren't taught that, but you need to be helpful. You need to clear the table. You need to offer your services to her friends, and her family. It is a huge win, and that is how you get a quality girl. Okay, so you're doing all this. You're like, Katy, I'm on board. I'm doing this and more. And I'm looking good. I'm looking stylish, because no woman wants to have to style you. Again, say it all the time. I have a client. I looked at pictures from when I met him to now. He looks so much better. He's so much more styled. His clothes are better. He wears the cologne I said. He wears the sunglasses I said. And he's looking good. He got the braces I said. He is looking good. He lost some weight. He's like, Katy, you motivated me. I'm getting lean. I'm like, yes. Because that's how you get the girl. Okay. And so the last one is, how do you keep this quality woman now that you've really seen her surroundings, her heart, you're really putting in the effort? Okay, well, it's not easy to keep a quality girl. If it was, everybody would have one. Just like I always say, it's not easy to be fit and healthy. If it was, everybody would be fit and healthy. But it's work and it's worth the effort. So here's a couple ideas. Number one, celebrate her. I can't say this enough. And look, I'm a big celebrator because life is short. I've had too many deaths this year, friends losing their husbands, their kids. Like, it's just been really hard on me personally. So I'm big on celebrating. It's my birthday, I want a candle. It's my birthday, I want a card. And I don't want just a card. I want a card with the whole, like, why you love me. Okay, so celebrate her in whatever way she deems fit. I have a friend, she does not want flowers. I want flowers once a month. I've told you guys the math, 365 days, 12 times a year you buy her flowers. That's a 3% like vested effort. 3%, okay? And that your returns are going to be 10 times that. So she doesn't want flowers, she wants gift cards because she likes to shop. And so, hubby, 12 times a year, get her a gift card, and she'll save them up or do whatever, but celebrate her for no reason. I know my pastor does. Every month he's been with his wife, he's celebrated her. He has a special day once a month and he celebrates her. And that is a keeper right there. That is a keeper idea. Number 2, surprise her. Like maybe lavish her and buy her something that you would probably never buy her. Like maybe just do some sort of creative super date. Like, I gotta be honest, I love this kind of stuff. I do it for people all the time. If my husband, if I ever came home and there was 27 candles lit and he actually had dinner on the table, I'd be like, whoa, not his thing. It's okay. But it would be one of those like super surprises. Like, did he just put it? And look, he can go buy dinner and like pretend he made it and put it in a pot. I could care less. But surprise her with something she would not think you would do. And if you're not sure, ask her friend. Okay, that's what the lifeline is there for. Google it. I'm telling you, the other day, we Googled like best, when we were in Tahiti, we said, we Googled, it'll be my 50th birthday next year. So best places to go for your wife's 50th birthday to make her happy, right? You put all that in Grok or whatever. And number 1 was Bora Bora. I already love Bora Bora, so we already been there for my 49th. But the point is, Grok can help you. Like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel here, guys. So please celebrate her, surprise her, grand gestures. I want to bring this up because technically not every woman likes grand gestures. And I was speaking about those a little bit ago. I love a good grand gesture. I love rose petals. I love fancy dinners. I like the idea because it's about the thought that you took the time. And look, it doesn't even have to be that grand. Again, if you went and bought spaghetti at our favorite place and made it all pretty here and made it romantic, like that's not giant grand, but some people like it in public, some people don't. Get to know your girl. Like, and do this. And don't just do it for a like an anniversary or birthday, like randomly do it. Celebrate her, surprise her, give her grand gestures of her liking. Basically, be her hero. Be her hero. That's what she really wants. She wants a guy who she can brag to her girlfriends about. She'd be like, oh my gosh, he took me shopping and he bought me like 3 outfits. Oh my gosh, he knew that I really wanted to go to this tennis match in Palm Springs or Wimbledon or whatever it was. He knows I wanted to go to this concert and he found it in a city and he's taking me there. Like, this thoughtfulness will do you wonders. It's so important to be her hero and she can brag about you. The next one is going to be lead her. Now, oftentimes as women, we say we want men to be the leader, right? The leader. You're the captain of the ship. You are, and I Googled this the other day because the idea is that you're not in charge of us, but you are initiating the direction, right? You're not telling me the direction of the ship, but you're initiating it and you're conferring with me. So when you are in a relationship, now you're in a relationship, this isn't I'm over you and you better follow and obey. It is a partnership. And although you're the leader, you're learning to lead her. And that is a very safe spot if you do it correctly. She feels secure. You're a good communicator. That's a huge one. Here's a big one, is that you're not only communicating your current plan with her and intention, you are communicating your future plan and intention. So here's an example. When my husband and I dated long distance, and this is in my podcast on dating long distance, before he left, I needed to know when I would see him again. That structure put me into a secure space. Now, I will say that continues on in our marriage, where I like knowing when we have date night. I like a consistent date night, and I like knowing he made a plan for that because it makes me feel thought of. Doesn't it? It's just literally a reservation. Like, he could reserve the next Saturday nights for the next 52 weeks, and it'd be I'd be like, oh my gosh, he just like booked it out. So it's not that hard, guys. Like, that stuff is not that hard. But really getting clear and really communicating that to her is where I think men lack. And so really if my son can intentionally say, will you be my girlfriend? I'm coming to see you. And here's when I'm going to see you again. Okay, if my 20-something-year-old son can do it, men, you can do it too, because that is what we need. And if you're not doing that, guess what? I don't know how to say this, but we still are not 10 toes in. Women don't have to be 10 toes in until they're married, just like you don't either. And it takes time. I always say 3 dates, 3 weeks, 3 months. But if you want to keep this one, you better let her know. Too many women have wasted their time on guys who are never going to keep them. And if they're smart enough, either from a girlfriend story or their own story or from listening to our stories as matchmakers, one of our matchmakers, that was her story. She waited and waited and waited and waited, and the guy never put a ring on her. So she bailed finally. And of course, the next girl that he put a ring on. So don't wait around for these guys. These women are not waiting around anymore. I hope, ladies, if you're listening, do not wait. Here's my theory on this. By 10 months, a guy knows if he likes you. Right away, a guy knows if you're like marriage material. And he should be communicating that by 3 months in, right? By 3 months, if he's not communicating, like, I'm intentional, then you need to ask him, because quit wasting your time. At 10 months, you guys should seriously start looking at like how serious is this going to be and what's the timeline. Some of you are still in college. Some of you have some things you need to shuffle out. But let's be honest here, don't waste anyone's time unless you're just looking to have fun. And that takes you all the way back to finding the right person and you just want to have the fun person. Okay, call it what it is. But don't be wasting a girl's time or a man's time if you're not serious. So we're going to lead her in a way that she feels secure and safe. If she needs to see your phone, you got to be that guy. You got to have nothing on there. If she's going to need to kind of know where you're at, a good leader is not, afraid to be honest and transparent. And so that is going to be super important for a quality woman. Lastly is that communication. Here's the deal, guys. Women want to be pursued. And I still to this day want to be pursued by my husband. So in that, we want you to lead the text. Yep, I said it. We as women want you to send the good morning text. Yes, we can do it sometimes, but there's just something so special when every morning you get the text from the guy that says, "Good morning, gorgeous. Thinking about you today." And again, we can send that text, but I am telling you on behalf of all women, send the text. It is so hot. It's sexy. That is super important. Encouraging us is super important. And instigating that is going to be the key to keeping her around, because she knows that you are in and she is going to feel secure and you're going to be celebrating her. And it's going to be a great dating relationship, guys. Now, I didn't get deep and heavy into like when she's emotional and when all these other things, because we get emotional and that's a whole nother topic of how to contain us, understand our emotions. But maybe that's for the wife school, right? I just want to help you find the one, keep the one, and get the one. And so guys, I really hope this was helpful. You're going to have questions. This is going to be the question. But Katy, when she blah, 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 here's the deal. But Katy, when she doesn't text me back, she's not that into you. But Katy, and I love it. So write those below, like, but Katy, when she what's? Let's answer these questions for you. And ladies, please make sure you listen next time, guys. I think you're going to love it too. When you hear everything you need to know about getting the boyfriend guide. Until then, cheers to love and life.